All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, February the 14th, Valentine's Day. And that means it's time for the Fertility Family. I'm Kania Kennedy. I'm your hostess for today with the Fertility Family. As we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are, what we're doing, and then we're going to get right into our presentation. We're running a little bit behind. My apologies. My laptop was stolen. And so today has been spent getting myself back in business and was right up against the gun, getting everything set up. But we are here and I am ready and I'm super excited to be here. I'm just going to take a moment before we open this up and just ground ourselves. In the space of love and light, the Fertility Family is a support group for people who are looking to have happy and healthy pregnancies and conceptions and births and really manifest their heart's desire of becoming parents. I am a member of the Fertility Family as I am on my own fertility journey, non-traditional. And we are looking at a holistic approach. So mind, body, spirit. And I am an ordained minister in Christian metaphysics. And so we're going to start this off by just taking a moment. I'm going to just bring myself into the awareness of the divine that is in, around, and at the source of everything. Knowing that the whole reason we're here in the Fertility Family Live Hangout is that I was told by Spirit to share my journey and to make this information available. And so that by doing this, by being obedient, I'm being a blessing to myself and to others. And that every person who joins us, whether it's our expert today, Dr. Hugh A. Jenkins, our other fertility family members, anyone who's watching, we are in the right place at the right time and here to get everything that is for our good. And so I assert and I say that this will be a powerful, productive presentation. And everyone who's here will walk away enriched and empowered as a result of their participation as a presenter, facilitator, a viewer. And so it is. All right. So the fertility family is I'm just reading a little bit here. Here's what we say, listen, becoming a parent is a milestone in one's life, right? And if you're having challenges conceiving, it can be a little frustrating, something that should seem so easy to do, but sometimes we're having challenges. But here's what I know and I believe is that if we were born with the parts, then we are here to reproduce if we choose to do so. And if we're having any challenges, it's just something that we need to heal, whether it be physical, whether it be mental, emotional, spiritual, and that if we do that, then we will have our heart's desire. So we are looking at everything from non-traditional family structures, like myself, single woman, looking to conceive and carry and give birth on my own and have a non-traditional, or we'll just say a non-American or typical American, I guess European type family. I'm looking at the village model. We've got extended family who'll be helping me out. Whether you're a mature woman or mature couple who be having some trouble conceiving and are looking for some support and may have found that some of the traditional or more modern approaches to fertility with drugs and different types of procedures may be out of your reach financially or just may not be yielding the results because the percentages of success are so low. We invite you to consider more of a holistic approach where you can continue to even do things that you're doing with your doctor, but also look into some non-traditional or we'll say more ancient or holistic or natural remedies. If you're someone who just is like, I think I want to get pregnant, but I'm not quite sure what do I need to know, and you want to do some preparation, the fertility family is for you too. It really is for anyone who's open to having a happy, healthy baby, but we do some special focuses on challenges for women of color, for mature couples, as well for anyone who may have been diagnosed with some fertility challenges, be it fibroids, endometriosis, any sort of reproductive issues that may get in the way of your ability to conceive and carry. And our goal is to move that out of the way. The text that we are using is the Naturopathic Approach to Fertility by Dr. Julissa Hernandez. She's actually one of the members of the Fertility family, and she comes and visits with us live in the Fertility Family Hangout, where she'll be teaching from the book and answering questions and interacting with you all. So it's just a great thing. If you're going to join the Fertility family, getting a copy of the text is a requirement, and we look forward to having you. So that's what the Fertility family is. And today, our topic is called The Doctor is In. And we have with us Dr. Hugh A. Jenkins. A little bit about Dr. Jenkins. Let me pull him up here. Dr. Jenkins is a personal friend of mine. Most of the people who you'll meet in the Fertility family are people I know. And as it continues to expand, it'll be people that I may not know personally, but I do personally vet. In fact, yesterday, I had a presentation, a meeting with a prospective new team member in the world of mental and emotional health, trained psychotherapist. But before I can bring this person into the family, we've got to go through the steps, right, to make sure that we're bringing you people who are really going to be able to be of value to you and come to you with love. But Dr. Jenkins, so I've known Dr. Jenkins for almost 10 years now, hard to believe. But he is a sharing and caring individual who really looks at the whole person. So he's a naturopathic doctor. He's a retired chiropractor. He's certified and trained in a lot of different modalities, and he'll tell you a little bit about that as he introduces himself. What's important to know is that he has a track record of working with couples and people to help them achieve their goals of conceiving and having a happy and healthy baby despite some challenges. So that means that he's someone who knows how to get the job done. And so I'm excited to have him here. He brings some wonderful masculine energy into the group. And without further ado, I'm going to bring to the screen Dr. Hugh A. Jenkins. Let me unmute you. And we present to everyone. All right, you should be good to go, Dr. Jenkins. You are not good to go? Nope, I did not unmute you. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Stop presenting. I don't want you muted, but I don't hear you. Is your microphone, there should be a microphone with a line through it. Do you have that microphone activated? Red, you want to
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now
Okay.
I can hear you. Wonderful.
All right. Well, happy Valentine's to everybody and to everybody that's on the team, and God's blessing, because this is a fantastic day for me to do my presentation on health and wellness, because we're talking about the heart, where the emotion of love is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my presentation right now, since we're running a little behind schedule, and get things going for everybody. Okay, my presentation is on fasting and prayer, one of God's answers to a fertile family. Dr. Alvinia Fulton was the one that got me into it. I'm a naturopathic doctor, like Kania said. I graduated from National College of Naturopathic Medicine, a retired chiropractor from National University of Health Science, a BT Biological Terrain Assessment clinician from Arizona. I've got advanced training in acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM for short, from the Midwest Center of Oriental Medicine. I've also studied in China, gone there a couple of times. I was mentored on fasting by Dr. Alvinia Fulton, who was the world's authority of fasting in the 1970s. I've used fasting and prayer with my clients to help them to achieve optimum levels of health, wellness, for the body, mind, spirit, and emotions, which is very important. I'm glad our potential new member is going to be a person that's going to be helping us with emotions. One of my friends that I went to college with, who is a minister, she's been a minister for many, many years now, she gave me this. It's a card that I keep in my wallet, and I pray this for my patients, and it's Dr. Prayer. Lord, as I treat my patients, help me to be wise. Let me see their problems through your discerning eyes. Guide me, Lord, and use me in everything I do, for you're the great physician, and I long to be like you. God is the master healer, and he's lost no patience. He gives them medicine without side effects. And so, what can I be? But I'm going to use some scriptures here that I've used in the past and the present and the future, and the fasting and the prayer, because those are God's two therapies that work together as a team. You get the maximum benefit for that. So starting with the scripture, but as for me, when they were sick, I humbled my soul, mind, body, and soul with fasting, and prayer returning into mine own bosom. And all the people cried to the Lord with great earnestness, and they humbled their soul in fasting and prayer, both they, the men, and their wives. Because if you want to have a child, start a family, it has to be the man and the woman, your significant other. Okay, it doesn't have to be marriage. You know, you can have a different situation like Kania is having, but as long as you have the man and the woman as one. Know ye that the Lord will hear your prayers if you continue with persistence and fasting and prayer in the sight of the Lord. That's continuous fasting on a regular basis and regular prayer. We go to church on a regular basis on Sundays and Wednesdays. We should fast on a regular basis. And when I learned from Dr. Alvinia Fulton, my fasting day was on a Wednesday. What is fasting? Fasting is spiritual discipline that is taught in the Bible. The Old Testament, the New Testament, they even had fasting prior to the Bible was written. Thousands of years before that, people fasted because they knew the benefit of fasting. Jesus expected his followers to fast, and he said that God rewards fasting. Fasting, according to the Bible, means to voluntarily reduce or eliminate, preferably to eliminate, your intake of food for a specific time and purpose. Dr. Alvinia Fulton, people would come from her from all over the world. She put her on a cleansing diet. She put them on a fast of 21 days, even if they never fasted a day in their life, or they're seasoned fasters. And their purpose is that they wanted to get better. And they did. It was fantastic. In the Bible, we observe the people of God fasting for a variety of reasons. They're facing a crisis, possible infertility. That's what our fertility family is about. They're seeking God's protection and deliverance. They have been called to repent and renew a healthy new body. The body is designed to repair or rebuild, or every 7 years, it either rebuilds or you either build it up or tear it down. It's your choice. It's your temple of God. So preferably through fasting, we want to rebuild to have a healthy body. They were humbling themselves in worship. In the Bible, Hannah fasted and prayed and asked for a son, and Hannah got that son. And we can do that too. The benefits of fasting for spiritual purpose, teaching us discipline, helps us to understand how much we should depend on God. God is the master healer. God will provide to us according to his riches and glory if we have the faith in there. Enabled us to endure suffering and sympathy with others. Contribute to spiritual and mental alertness. One thing that happens on the fast is that you're not taking in any solid food. You give the digestive system a rest, and the energy and blood gets a chance to go to other areas of the body, to the mind, to the spirit, to the emotions. God gets the process of healing. It slows the healing, it increases the healing and slows the aging process down. Through fasting, we are telling God that we are earnest in our prayers. Fasting enables us to perform true self-examination, because when you're not eating, you get a chance to find out what's going on in my body. You can feel these things. Inside everyone is that tiny seed of you that your offsprings were meant to be. Fasting according to the Bible meant to voluntarily reduce to eliminate your intake of food for a specific time. We talked about that. Now you can go on different fasts of 1 day a week, 3 days a month, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. It's usually on the cycle of 7 that Dr. Fulton taught me about. Very beneficial. It's not so much about the food, but rather focusing on producing a healthy body to be able to reproduce another healthy body. It's not so much about saying no to the body, but yes to the spirit and to the mind. It is our outward response to an inward soul and emotion. We want to say yes. We don't want to say no because we don't want to concentrate on the negativity. We want to concentrate on the positive. For this reason, I bow my knees to the Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, for whom the whole family in heaven, God and earth, man and woman, is named, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory, to be strengthened with might through his spirit soul in the inner man, that Christ might dwell in your heart through faith, and that you, being rooted and grounded in love, love has the highest energy of any emotion. And they say love conquers all in your spirit, man and woman. It's got to be the love of the man and the woman, and it's the Trinity. The Trinity, God the Father, the man, and the woman. If you don't have God in your life, then you're not going to be able to completely have a good family. Don't allow any setback, infertility, or miscarriages to become bigger than your comeback, a full-term healthy baby. Fasting can change negative emotion to positive emotion. Holding on to anger, resentment, hurt only gives you tense muscles and headache and sore jaws for clenching your teeth. It stresses you out. And stress is one of the things that will cause dis-ease. Forgiveness gives you back the laughter and light of your life. Love, which I talked about. And the reason that I have the love in green, because the chakra is of the heart is green. The color is green. And that's where the emotion of love is. Positive affirmation. I've learned this from somebody. It says, I am already healed, happy, loving, wealthy, successful, confident, physically and emotionally well. Therefore, I say to you, whether new life you ask when you fast and pray, believe that you receive it, conceive it, then, and you will have them. Thank you, God, for helping me to know that all my issues and fears are taken care of by you and your angels. This is a great mantra or an affirmation, whatever you choose to call it. I will say that again. Thank you, God, for helping me to know that all my issues and fears, issues of infertility, fear that you might not have a child if you had previous miscarriages, are taken care of by you and your angels. Know ye that the Lord will hear your prayers if you continue with perseverance and fasting and prayer in the sight of the Lord. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are all positive energy. And the positiveness will get you to where you want to be. You do not want to concentrate on the negative. You know, if a doctor, you go to a doctor and he says, well, I'm sorry, you know, we've done all these tests and you can't have a baby. Don't concentrate on you can't. Concentrate on you can, okay? Concentrate that you have the love within your body, the joy within your body, all of these positive energies, and that will bring you up. Against there is no law of man. God will give you that. There's increased rate of female infertility and natural remedies. With the uterine fibroid, in 1992, I was interviewed by Essence Magazine about uterine fibroids and avoiding hysterectomies. What happens there is that I've had 1992, I was interviewed And I had people come from me from all over the country, call me up. I would do phone interviews. They'd fly into Chicago when I was living there. And what I could see, because I do iridology. Iridology is a science of looking into eyes to find out what's going on in the body, past, present, or future, hereditary signs and lesions. And I could see the uterus. You can't diagnose any disease with iridology, but you can tell what's going on in the body. So through that, I could see that the uterus was tipped, and through further evaluation, I could see that the colon was sitting on top of that. The transverse colon was prolapsing on that. And I would ask the client, and one thing that I do now is I'd let people know that I'm not their doctor. I'm their health and wellness coach, and they are not my patients. They are my clients. Because what I do is that I educate them so that they can diagnose, prescribe, treat, and heal themselves, because I tell people, I don't heal you. I heal myself, only God and you heals yourself. So by looking into the eyes, I would ask them, because they'd already gone to the OB-GYN and they were already diagnosed with the fibroid tumors, and they wanted to do hysterectomies or all these other evasive techniques. And so I would ask them, do you have a tipped uterus? And the majority of them would say, yes, I do. How did you notice that? Well, I could see that the colon's laying on that uterus, tipping it. And at that point, that is where that fibroid tumor is lodged, or it's growing from there, because it's a lack of the chi flow, and lack of blood flow. And the Chinese say where the chi is stuck, there's pain, there's congestion, there's a number of things. So you got to get the chi to flow, and as the chi flow, the blood will follow. So I would put these women on cleansing, detoxification, on fasting, and I'd also have them during the fasting period lay on a slant board where their hips are higher than their head, not just where the legs are tilted up, okay? The hips have to be higher than their head. And so that we'd have the gravity flow. And a lot of these women, one of the symptoms of fibroid tumors is that you have increased blood flow and clots and pain, menstrual cramps, bad menstrual cramps. The cleansing and detoxification of that, you would have increased blood flow and clots, but you would not have the pain, because the body is cleansing itself out. So these women would go back after a period of time of fasting and cleansing and lifestyle changes, and they would see they would go back to the OB-GYN, and the OB-GYN would say, my God, these fibroid tumors have shrunk, and some of them have gone away. Now, I had one client who she came in and her diet was the average American diet. She had eating all this toxic mucus producing food. And that's one thing about a fibroid tumor, is that a fibroid tumor, they say it's 1% cancerous, but it's 100%. It's 100% toxic. Her body was toxic. Her uterus was toxic. So she said it was a fast growing fibroid tumor. So we put her on the program, and it got to the point that it slowed down and it plateaued. And she said, the program's not working. I said, yes, it is. You got to give it time. It has stopped growing, and it's plateaued. Now, if you give it time, it's going to start to decreasing, because your body on a fast, the body uses the toxins as fuel. It eats it up and discards it, okay? And so what would happen there is that she did not want to stick with her health program. She said, well, I'm going to go back to the diet I had. And that's a very important word that people don't realize when they say, I'm going to go back. That's like putting your car in reverse on the expressway and going back. You know, you are not going to be successful in your program. You're not going to be going forward. So she went back, and the fibroid tumor came back with a vengeance. But she was also toxic other places. She had congestion in her lungs. She had a chronic constipation. She had all these mucus conditions in the body. And she chose that was her life. You know, I can only advise somebody. I can't force them what to do. But if we give you some options in life and you choose to do this, we'll get some fantastic results. So I've had women that the OB-GYN said, well, yes, you need a fibroid, you have a fibroid tumor, and it comes in the size either grapefruit or up to the size of a watermelon. And the majority of times I would tell people, I would not discard surgery, but I would use surgery as a very last resort. Let's give Mother Nature a try. God is within you, and God is the master healer. And if God is within you, then he's allowing you to heal yourself. But you got to give God, you have to cherish God's temple. So a lot of people were getting fantastic results from that. And I'm still getting women to these days that are coming to me from this article that they have read or people have referred them to. And I've had a number of women that, because their fibroid tumors decreased, disappeared, were gone, they had a healthy uterus and they were able to conceive. But we did this on fasting, persistent fasting, prayer, meditation, lifestyle changes, and we've got fantastic results. And they did not need a hysterectomy. The other test that the doctors use is called a myomectomy, where they just cut out the fibroid tumor, but they didn't get rid of the cause of the problem, a toxic diet. Okay, so by doing that, the fibroid tumor tends to come back after a myomectomy. Then other treatments that they have is uterine embolization, where they put they block off the uterine arteries, uterine artery embolization. They block that off with plastic pellets, and that creates pressure, and they have some pain there. We have certain nutritional supplements that will block that off and shut down the blood flow to the fibroid tumors, and the fibroid tumors starve to death. And then through cleansing and detoxification and fasting, the fibroid tumor comes out and the woman is able to conceive. Now, another thing that we have a problem with is the increased rate of male infertility and natural remedies. Now, although some people still think fertility was a woman's problem, because that's all the thing that they think, well, it's a woman, she can't have a baby, so we're going through problems like that. But in 20% of infertile couples, the problem is solely with the man. Infertility in a man may be the only reason that a couple can't conceive, or may simply add to the difficulties caused by infertility in the partner. In a couple of weeks back on the show, The Good Doctor, there was a Black couple, and they were professionals. They both were doctors in the hospital, and it was time for them to, start a family. They were going through fertility procedures, and they were not being successful. And the man, he was trying to blame it on his wife. They'd gone a couple of appointments. The last appointment they went to, the doctor said, well, I've got some news for you, Dr. such and such, whatever his name was. We found out that you are the cause of the infertility. And his demeanor, his ego just hit rock bottom, because men don't think that they can do that. So it's critical that man get tested for fertility as well as a woman, since it is a two-part program that you're doing. It's also important that man do it early, because if you want to start a family, you need to find out how fertile you are. You can't just find out, okay, well, let's start a family and next week, let's get it done. So these same guys that want to put off being tested, possibly to avoid embarrassment, like that doctor on the Good Doctor, early tests can spare their partners a great deal of unnecessary discomfort and expense. It's also a good way to quickly narrow down potential problems. It's called preventive measures, preventive medicine. A recent study found that a sperm count from North America here, Australia, Europe, New Zealand have dropped by more than 50% in the last 40 years. 50%. That's pretty bad. The study authors believe environmental and lifestyle factors, both prenatal, that's when the the boy, the infant is in the womb, and as adults are to be blamed. This includes endocrine disrupting chemicals, smoking, pesticides, stress, and obesity, making adjustments to your lifestyle, because this is a lifestyle program. Helps to boost the male fertility without medication. You can do this without taking drugs, because the drugs do have side effects. Seeing doctors or other health practitioners can also help to figure out what if the male's infertility is a possible cause, and what are your options. Very possible, because there's multiple causes of diseases, and infertility is a dis-ease. So the researchers originally examined more than 7,500 studies published that looked at the sperm count and concentration between 1973 and 2011. The studies were spread over the time period and included nearly 40,000 men in 50 countries. The findings were startling. The analyzed found that there was almost 60% decrease in the total sperm count over nearly 4 decades. 60% decrease, okay? The normal, when I was coming up in med school, the normal sperm, what should I say, healthy sperm count was 10 million sperms per ejaculation. Now they're saying the healthy or normal sperm count is 3 million sperms per ejaculation. From 10 million, which we would call that 100%, to 30 million, which we would call that 30%. 30% is failure in anybody's book. You cannot get out of kindergarten with 30%, okay? And it doesn't seem like the decrease in male fertility is slowing down. They're constantly going lower and lower and lower. And that's why we're having higher and higher infertilities, not just in this country, but in the world. There's such things as endocrine disrupting chemicals. The prenatal endocrine disrupting, because of the chemical exposure, is one major reason scientists believe male infertility is on the rise. They're all around us. They include things like the phthalates. Yes, the stuff that's in our antibacterial gels that we're putting on us all the time, okay, especially if you're in the healthcare field or if you're in schools where there's a lot of things and you want to keep yourself germ-free during this cold and flu season. You're putting on something that's making you infertile. And the BPAs, which are in the majority of our plastics, not unless it says BPA free, but the majority, we are drinking bottled water every day, okay? And pops and all the rest of the stuff that has plastic. We put plastic, our food in plastic, and we are eating these things that are causing us to be sterile. These substances interfere with our endocrine system, which regulate all of our body's hormones and biological procedures. And when EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals, mesh with our endocrine system, it can have serious reproductive, neurological, and immune effect. Unfortunately, damage is thought to be more serious during the prenatal, like I said, when the boy, the infant child, is in the womb, an early pregnancy exposure, or even prior to conception. These EDCs are especially tricky because even tiny doses of exposure can have serious effect. And they say, well, it's not going to affect you because it's a little bit. No, it will affect you because the little tiny doses, it's a cumulative factors. You know, if you're drinking these EDCs for years at a time, drinking bottled water. How long you been drinking bottled? I've been drinking bottled water for 10 plus years. And if you're getting a little dose at a time, that's like the straw that broke the camel's back. That can cause some problems down the road because it's a cumulative factors. It also had these side effects. And years and decades, it will cause some problems because you don't just get, for example, the flu. You don't just catch the flu. You earn the flu. You don't just catch a cold. You earn the cold. These endocrine disrupting chemicals, smoking, pesticides, stress, and obesity. We're talking about smoking now. More and more people are smoking, and it's the leading preventive cause of death in America. It causes more deaths than HIV, AIDS. illegal drug use, alcohol, car accidents, firearm-related incidents, and many other things. Something that you can prevent from dying, people are doing it all the time. But while smoking is an adult can affect infertility in males more than now than later, prenatal exposure to smoking can play a role too. One small study found that European men who had prenatal exposure to smoking had a 20% lower sperm density than those without. And exposure to secondhand smoke, a lot of us that are baby boomers, okay, our parents smoked a lot. We were exposed to that because our parents didn't know any difference. And that's why our children, you know, a lot of us baby boomers were able to have kids, but a number of us baby boomers were not because of the secondhand smoke. Might have never smoked a day in your life, but if you were inhaling your parents' smoke or anybody else's smoke, that caused some problems. There are more than 4,000 toxins in tobacco smokes. 4,000. Can you imagine if you put 4,000 poisons in front of you and you took a little bit of that? Most people are not going to do that visually, but they got a cancer stick, a death stick that they roll up and they inhale that all the time, which combines to harm male infertility. One of the things that happens, there is a drug called sulfur dioxide in, well, one of the poisons in there, the toxins in there, and that constricts the blood vessels, closes those off. And that's why you're not getting blood flow to the testes, blood flow to the penis, and having these problems with that. And if you're a smoker, you could expect low quality sperm, reduced sperm function, a dysfunctional reproductive hormone system, impaired sperm maturity, and other reproductive side effects. How much you're smoking matters too. You can smoke 1 cigarette a day, and you got these people who say, well, I'm not really a smoker. I smoke 1 cigarette a day. Either you are or you're not. Okay, it's just like some people say, I really don't drink coffee. I just drink a cup a day. Or I don't drink alcohol. I just drink a glass a day. If you're drinking it, you're drinking it. Okay, so and heavy smokers are likely to experience more negative effect in their fertility than casual smokers. Though this to be clear, any type of smoke can be effective to the male infertility. And we're talking about any kind of smoke, smoking of cigarettes, smoking of marijuana, any type, smoking of anything. Pesticides. Pesticides in the last 40 years, we've been exposed to a variety of these pesticides that haven't always been around, like Monsanto Roundup. And I saw a commercial on that just yesterday, how I think it was one of these lawsuits against Roundup, how it's been causing a lot of problems. All of these pesticides are affecting male infertility and other health problems. And we're not always sure exactly how, because enough research hasn't yet been done. Remnants of pesticides can stay on your food long after the pesticide has been sprayed. And that means that it's sprayed when they're growing it, sprayed after that. When they put pesticides, they usually use herbicides and all these other chemicals on there. And when you get to market, those things are still on there. And you have to wash those things off with either apple cider vinegar or nature's enzyme spray that we use or something to try to neutralize those impurities. There are also pesticides drift, where these chemicals travel even to foods that haven't been sprayed. So if one farmer is spraying pesticides on his crop, because of wind, they can go to a farmer miles and miles away and cause some problems. And this farmer might be saying, well, I'm growing organic food, but because our environment is polluted, these things can be causing us a lot of damage. It is just a coincidence that male infertility has increased in the last 40 decades around the same time that powerful pesticides have been into play. Could it be that the pesticides are causing the problem? Yes or no? You know, that's some of the things that we have to take in consideration. They're still having studies on that. Stress. Stress has been related to over 100% of diseases. We already know that chronic stress it's harmful to your health. Now you got good stress and you got bad stress, but the majority of the stress that's harmful to us is the bad stress that we're exposed to every day. Did you know that it also plays a role in male infertility or male fertility? Men who are stressed tend to have low sperm counts during ejaculation, like I said, from 10 million to 3 million per ejaculation, and reduced sperm quality, which makes it more difficult for a sperm to fertilize an egg. This holds true even once other health issues are taken in consideration and to account. So there's multiple causes of disease, and stress is one of those. There's 8+ causes of disease. If you're able to find out the cause of the disease or the multiple causes of the disease, then you can have a better chance of getting a healthy body. Obesity. We're a very, I gotta make it blunt, a very fat country. This country is majority of Americans in this country, and the majority means 51% or more, are obese. Our obese rate is 65 to 75% of the population. That is not good. Obesity has been on the rise in the past few decades, and it plays a role in male infertility, and it's primary and secondary to most other diseases. While we've known for some time that obese women may have difficulty conceiving, an obese male partner plays a role too. The two of them, it seems that obesity affects the sperm ability to fertilize the egg. It's also likely due to impaired semen quality. Obesity comes with its own set of other health issues. It causes high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, heart attacks, strokes, increases your risk to cancer, et cetera, et cetera. And this might affect male infertility, like hormone changes and sexual dysfunctions. A lot of these toxins are stored into fat cells, and the bigger and fatter you are, the more chance that you are having dis-ease. And one thing that we have to do, we have to make adjustments to our lifestyle so we can boost the male fertility without medication. And for every natural disease, there's a natural cure, and for every drug, there's a natural substitute. So we can do this through God's medicine and make things much better. So we can improve your diet. When it comes to releasing weight, waste, and I said releasing, I didn't say losing weight, because what do we do when we say, I'm on a weight loss diet? Just your subconscious says, okay, just like losing my keys, I want to go around and find the keys. So if you lose the weight, the subconscious is going to say, okay, I want to get that weight back and I'm going to get more. And so the average person is bigger after a weight loss program than they are on a releasing weight waste program. The diet is crucial, and the same food that are excellent for treating obesity naturally can also help with male and female infertility. In my natural infertility treatment plan, in addition to fasting, a healing diet is loaded with 51% plant-based raw foods. You want to eat raw foods, and the reason for raw foods, because it hasn't lost its nutritional value through cooking, and it's going to give to the body instead of taking it away. You want to use fiber so that you can get the body moving, get the toxins moving out of there, absorb the toxins. And fermented foods. You also, if you're a meat eater, you also want to eat wild caught fish and grass-fed poultry. Nutritional supplements are very important. The reason why it helps to control the #1 cause of disease, nutritional deficiency. The other one is dehydration. And if we don't take nutritional nutrients, the body needs over 100 different nutrients for it to function, and water to flush the system out. Since we're 75% water, you cannot have a healthy baby because you're not healthy. You're dried out. And for example, one of the problems that they have with high-risk pregnancies or during the delivery is if the bag of water breaks, then they might have a dry birth. So that automatically it's a risk factor, and then they have to do a C-section. when we're doing these our natural fertility family, we want to have natural vaginal deliveries. So we need water to flush it out. The baby is living in fluid, water. The amniotic fluid is predominantly water. Okay, so it's very important for that. Combine these foods help to reduce inflammation, promotes sperm count, keeps hormones regular. On the other hand, the same thing that can pack on pounds affects fertility as well. This includes your high fat processed meats, all your hot dogs, your processed meats, refined carbohydrates such as refined sugars or fats. And if you're trying to conceive, you'll want to avoid alcohol, caffeine, drugs, and including marijuana. Now, one of the things they say about alcohol in a program I read on WebMD, they were saying how it affects the liver. And the liver is involved in all functions of the body. You got to have a healthy liver to have a healthy body, to have a healthy baby. Is that they will say to avoid alcohol, to not drink any alcohol. And at the end, they say you can do moderate drinking. And their moderate drinking is 2 drinks for a man a day and 1 drink for a woman a day. If you're drinking alcohol every day for a year, that's 365 days out the year, 365 drinks a year for a woman and times 2 for a man. That's going to cause some dis-ease in there, and it's not going to be beneficial for you or your baby. Because one of the other issues we have, for example, alcohol is a drug. Other issues we have is, for example, these cocaine babies that are heroin babies. They come out, you can have an alcoholic baby if you're drinking moderately, like the doctors say. You need to totally avoid alcohol during the planning, the conceiving, the pregnancy, and beyond. You want to see a doctor or other health practitioners to help you figure out if male infertility or female infertility is a possible cause and what are your options. For women, you want to see the OB-GYN specializing in infertility for women. And if your OB-GYN is health-minded and they are one of those people that do complementary medicine, that's really fantastic because you have more complementary medicine programs in the hospital nowadays. If you're having problems with infertility, you'd see a urologist to find out if you're having any prostate issues. You'd also see a chiropractor because a chiropractor can do certain adjustments for the man and the women to get the nerve impulse, nerve flow, and blood flow to these sex organs and other areas of the body, because you're not just, when you're sick, you don't just get sick in a certain area of the body or out of balance in any area of the body. You're dis-ease, you're out of balance every place. So we need to get you in proper balance. So the chiropractor is good for that. People will say cracking your back, but we don't crack it. We adjust your spine and we adjust every joint in the body to get the blood flowing, and you can get the chi flowing from there. Also, you might want to go to a doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine. In the research I was doing for this, they were saying that they were using acupuncture as a means of an alternative medicine to get fertile man and women, because it would get, like I was saying previously, we would get the chi flowing. The chi is your universal force, your energy, and you can feel your energy when you're in tune with that. And it comes from the universe to you and through you. And when you're one with your significant other, you can get that chi flowing, and you'd be so surprised how that can become one with God, with nature. And then you can go to a naturopath like myself or Dr. Jaleesa. And I was trained to do everything a medical doctor does except for using drugs and major surgery. So for every natural disease, there's a natural cure, and for every drug, there's a natural substitute. We can get you to your optimum state of health and wellness, but you've got to be able to want to do that. This is one of the tests that I've used in the past. It's called a hair analysis, by using a hair from the nape of the neck, preferably. We can use pubic hair, but preferably the nape of the neck. We can find out the toxins in the body and minerals in balance. The chart on the left is the toxic heavy metals from aluminum that people wipe on their bodies every day with deodorant. They might eat out of aluminum pots, wrap their food with aluminum foil, and this gets into your body, and it's known to cause dis-ease. One of them is dementia and Alzheimer's. We got arsenic, we have cadmium, we have lead. They talked about lead in Flint, Michigan some years ago in their water, but it's not just there in Flint, Michigan, it's all over the place. I'm from Chicago, and Chicago has lead pipes underground that they were there for decades, maybe for centuries. And it comes from the water plant, and it goes, quote unquote, they have the best water in the big cities in the country. But when they filter it, it's good, but when it goes through those lead pipes, it becomes toxic. And we can find that through the hair analysis. Mercury, a lot of people are having that from the mercury fillings, amalgam fillings in their mouth. And that can cause problem because it will affect their immune system. It'll affect the endocrine system. This is the cold and flu season. And what are people doing? They're getting flu shots. The flu shots, the preservative in the flu shots is mercury, very toxic to the body. If you use God's medicine, you can have a natural flu shot without being stuck with a needle with something toxic to the body, and they'll throw it off. On the right side of the screen is the level of the minerals. And you can see that those dark lines are going back and forth, and any of those dark bars that are outside of the green, those minerals are out of balance. So we have the calcium, magnesium slightly out of balance. We have copper out of balance. The zinc is really out of balance over to the right. And the mineral, the zinc, is needed by the prostate gland 10 times more than any other organ of the body. But it's also involved with 3,000 chemical reactions in the body. It can be thrown out of balance by these heavy metals. So what we do in the hair analysis is that we can find out the heavy metals in the body and the mineral deficiencies. And when the minerals are deficient, they work with vitamins. So vitamins will be deficient. So you have to have one working with the others. And you also need enzymes to get the vitamins and minerals absorbed into the system. And you need to detoxify and have a healthy digestive system, a microbiome, so that the body will work better, because the microbiome can be the base of dis-ease. If it's not being cleansed out, then the toxins are recycling in the blood and the lymphatic and getting into the weakest areas of the body. And for a woman, it can be her ovaries and her uterus, and a man can be in his testes. And you can have infertility because of the toxins in the body, deficiencies in the system. So one thing that is, a healer is not someone that you go to for healing. A healer is someone that triggers within you your own ability to heal yourself. Like I said earlier, is that I've changed from being your doctor to your health and wellness coach. I'm not going to diagnose disease for you. I'm going to educate you so that you can diagnose, prescribe, treat, and heal yourself, because I heal nobody but myself. You and God heals yourself. Inside every one of us is that tiny seed of you that you were meant to be. Oops. So what I'm doing now, because this is Valentine's Day, the day of lovers, and the main person you should love is yourself first. If you are single, if you're divorced, if you don't have any significant person in your life to love right now, you should always love yourself, because you're the most important person that you should love. If you don't love yourself, then no one else will love you. So I'm giving you this Valentine's Day Health and Wellness Hair Analysis Special from today, our Loving Day, Wednesday, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018, to Monday, President's Day, February 19th, 2018. The hair analysis test is only $125, which includes a 20-minute phone consultation, and it's valued at $150. This non-invasive test is for you whether you are fertile, infertile, or not, and whether you're young or old. It is a good preventive test. So know your health status is a good preventive measure for you. So you can call my office, and that's 708-424-0233. That's 708-424-0233, so that we can get you to an optimum level of health and wellness to prevent disease, so that you can have a healthy body to have a healthy baby. Oops.
Wow, such great information. 1 second. All right. Yes. What wonderful information. That was chock full of good stuff, Dr. Jenkins. So we can't see your face. You've got to stop presenting so that we can see you again.
Oh, okay. What is it? Screen shaving? Is that it?
Yep. You're going to stop presenting, or yeah, you're going to hit the stop. There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. I know we're at 8:09, but do you have a few minutes?
I have a lot of time for my people, for God's people.
Wonderful. So if someone's getting started, right? So what would you say is the first thing they should do? Like, okay, I want to do this. Like, what's in creating this plan? You know, we talk about fasting and prayer. They just stop eating what? Like, do I stop eating everything? Do I do a water fast? You know what? How do I get started?
Well, see, the thing about it, when I learned from her, it was she would put people on water fast. It was still water, lemon, and honey. Are you getting feedback from me? Oh, okay. It was
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Still water, lemon, and honey, but it was a therapeutic fast. So she would also put them on nutrients, you know. And a lot of folks say, well, I'm going to take this vitamin, I'm going to take this and that. But vitamins, not unless they're in a capsule, are going to be metabolized, because a tablet, since the digestive system goes to sleep, then it's not going to be able to break up those tablets. So preferably you want to take an herbal supplement, either in a capsule or in a tea or what have you. Okay. Some people can't do a water fast. That might be just too much for them. So the fasting is an absence of solid food. So it's like you drinking your food, your nutrients. It can be a water fast, can be a juice fast, can be protein, a number of different things. But for example, the challenge that the people are having here, this is our family fertility. It was interesting when I was preparing for this, something came up on my YouTube feed that this person wanted to fast, and somebody responded to it and said, I went to Dr. Hugh Jenkins many years ago, and he put me on a 20-day fast. Okay. And so, oh my God. So I said, oh, God must be working in mysterious ways for me to help people. And I said, I would be honored to help you go through that. And for the people that are not in the Dallas, Texas area where I am, I do phone consultations, and I can walk you through a fast. I can put you on a cleansing diet that's made specifically for you, put you on a fast of, anybody can do a fast. Okay. Anybody can do a fast. 1 day a week, 3 days a month. People can't do a 40-day fast like Jesus did, but they can do that. But in reference to a 40-day fast, I had one lady, she fasted and prayed, and she was fasting, and she wanted to have a child, but she didn't have the knowledge to go on a long fast. But because she prayed, the Lord brought to her to listen to the radio one Saturday. Her husband had the radio on, and she would get up because she worked during the week, get up, go to the bathroom, go back to sleep. But she just happened to hear me on the radio. And so she listened for a while, and I was talking about infertility, all these women that I helped to assist, not get them pregnant, but I assisted in them, having babies, and so that sparked up. She came to me that next Monday. She went on the 5-day cleansing diet. She went on a 40-day fast. And 2 months later, she had a healthy baby boy. And I say she had, because that healthy baby boy is not a boy anymore. He's 30 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
okay. So someone's like, okay, I want to do it fast. Their best bet is, you say, you know, don't try it alone, but to
if they, because for example, if they're infertile, they've been infertile for a long period of time. Okay. So no, don't go on, if they're trying to reach this journey, you know, then they need to, not just them, but their significant other. We need to do that together, because you have to be as one. Okay. So yeah, you can go on a short fast, you know, and a lot of people, you know, find stuff on YouTube, on Google and things like that, and they want to do it fast, but your body's going to be going through some changes. You might go through what is called a healing crisis, where the body's breaking up all these toxins and it's throwing it out, and you're starting to feel, quote unquote, these symptoms. I'm sick. I need to go to the doctor. But it's breaking up these stuff. It's like breaking up layers of an onion, and it's throwing the toxins out, and you're starting to feel the symptoms of diseases you had in the past, but you're not in a dis-ease state. You're in a cleansing state.
Okay. So maybe we'll put together a fast for the fertility family, and we'll go through it as a group.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because when I was mentoring under Dr. Fulton, it was 1970, Christmas of 75 to New Year's of 76. We were in Atlanta, Georgia, your town, and 120 people from all over the country came and fasted in Dr. Rabinathi's church. Okay, we were all in the gym, and Dick Gregory and other celebrities were there. And it was interesting, the energy that we generated from fasting. Every morning, like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, we meditated and fasted. And that was the first time that I'd ever done an air fast. And an air fast, you're taking in nothing but air. And the only way you get fluid in your body is from taking a shower or a bath and taking enemas, because you still got to get that fluid in there, but you're not taking it in by mouth. And it was fantastic. You know, my energy level dropped, and I was wondering what to do, because I was using all that energy. I was part of Dr. Fulton's staff monitoring these people. And she said, or either D. Gregory said, to tap on the energy that we're using, that we have in the room when we're meditating. I took that in, and my energy level shot through the roof. I tapped on the chi.
Wow.
So you can do that when you're becoming one with, you know, with God, with the universe, whatever you want to call that. And fasting is one of the best ways to do it.
So when we, so, you know, we do the hair and the consultation, we do the consultation. That consultation, do we get like a program or a regimen, or what happens?
Well, what I'll do is I will go over the hair analysis and give you a brief program that we can do. In 20 minutes, I'm not able to do a complete program. We can do a more extensive phone consultation, or if the person comes in, where I can find out your health history and help you to evaluate what's going on with you. But the average phone consultation that I do to do that is usually between 45 minutes to an hour. You know, sometimes it might even take longer than that if you have some long time chronic diseases, you know, issues that you have, that we have to go from that. Sometimes we have to do follow-up consultations, which is important. You need to follow up on a person, you know, because you wouldn't put them on a health program on a fast, especially for 21 plus days, and just throw them out there in the wind, because they're going to go through some changes, you know. And so we don't want them to be left out there without having a coach or somebody. It's just like the Inform program that we're both coaches for. We coach them through that period of time and monitor them, you know, and we get them to a level of health and wellness. And if they need our help, for them to just to get in contact with us. That's very important.
And if so, you know, if I or someone wants to, just oh yeah, if I'm dealing with something like fibroid tumors or just any sort of dis-ease, right? That could be a challenge to fertility. Like, what's the timeline? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a year, 6 months? Does it depend? Like, you know, what?
Well, it depends on the size of the fibroid and how much the person wants to put into their health. Okay, because you know, you're not going to just think about, okay, we're going to get pregnant tomorrow. If you go to your OB-GYN, you go to your urologist and they say, well, we got some health issues going on here. You might be having fibroid tumors. You might be having polycystic disease of the ovaries. You might be having endometriosis. You might be just having bad periods. Or you've been on the pill for a period of time, and we got to correct the side effects from that. You know, we've got to clean out that body, get it functioning properly. So if a person has a fibroid tumor the size of a grapefruit, that's a shorter program than a person that has a fibroid tumor the size of the size of a grape compared to the size of an orange or grapefruit, you know, up to a watermelon. And I've only seen one person with the size of the watermelon, and that person, I was suggesting that they should go get a surgery because it was just too big. But at that point, I was in Chicago. I was doing house calls for her grandmother, and the young girl, her mother and her didn't want to get the surgery because they wanted to have a baby. And I said, I don't know, because first I thought when I saw her, I didn't know that she had fibroid tumors. I thought they twins.
You got a little muffled there.
That's how big she was. And that's the year. And I said, well, what happened? The mother told me that she hemorrhaged and died. You know,
oh my goodness.
She should have, you know, sacrificed her womb for her life, but she chose not to do that. Is like I said earlier, I do not discount surgery, but I suggest that it's the very last resort, because you combine
before they get that point. Yeah. Okay. I just I wanted to in short, you know, for your time and for this great information today. For anyone who's watching the replay, I encourage you to take advantage of this wonderful offer. It's really important. Oh, let me switch up. I forget my camera skills sometimes. I was going to say, you guys, you know, a lot of times it's important for us to, and you got to sometimes get the what so. You know your body, you don't necessarily know what there may be to address, and there may be nothing to address. When I first decided I was going to get started on this journey, the first thing I did was make an appointment with my doctor to, you know, get my labs, get everything evaluated. Because that's important. And I've been on a cleansing and detox journey for months. You know, I've been like just eating clean is a lifestyle, because I know, you know, what I'm preparing for. So, you know, the fertility family, again, this is spirit. Today's talk was a combination of mind and spirit. Body and spirit. We're talking one, you know, today is the first day of for 2018. So it was a wonderful, wonderful presentation, very apropos. Is that in turn right, and emulating and to some extent what Jesus did during the 40 days and 40 nights, mind on God, you know, taking a break from some things that may not be for your highest, best, and good. You know, some people fast from coffee, some people fast from meat, sugars, whatever. You know, but if you are, I assert that if you want to have a baby, a perfect time for you to begin a intentional fast, and then not only fasting, but also prayer and affirmations, visualizations, spending time during this Lenten season. I've kicked off the 40-day prosperity plan, which I always think money, but I encourage you to think, children are a form of prosperity. It's a form of growth and abundance, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
it's a wonderful that is structured. It's a loose.
Hello.
If you have seen that particular invitation, I invite you to take a look at that after the first day of watching at any point. This is the thing. Don't think, oh my goodness, I missed the take this journey on mind, body, and spirit, and take the time to get your mind in the space of prosperity and fertility and abundance, as well as your body. And it's your full body. We don't want, like, your womb is not like a separate system. All of this works together. So the reason it's important, nutrients, and that you're getting rid of whatever doesn't serve you, is because it's all interconnected. Is there anything you'd like to add as your last words, Dr. Jenkins, before we complete?
Yes, you asked a question about how long it would take. I had a couple that came from California, and they were
Wait, hold on,
having
really
problems
quick.
with
I'm sorry,
fertility.
Dr. Jenkins.
Yes.
I had a quick reboot. I'm not sure what. We're back. I'm sorry. You would give us your last words.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I had a couple that found out about me, and they were from California, and they came to Chicago, and I put them on the hair analysis test, the BTA test, which is urine and saliva, put them on a cleansing diet and a fast. And I said, well, if this program doesn't work in 6 months, then go back to your fertility clinic, that has a 69% success rate, and go from there. And the lady said, oh no, it wasn't 69% success rate, it's 39% success rate. I said, oh my God. Like I said about the sperm count, 39%. That's, if you don't pass kindergarten at 70%, you're failing. Okay. And at that point, which is like 10 years ago, their base price that they were paying was $10,000 for the clinic, the fertility clinic. Now the base price is like $15,000. And it was interesting. They went through the program, and in 4 months got pregnant and had a healthy boy. And I think 3 years later, they had another healthy boy. And they said, okay, we were successful. We're shutting down this program. And it's happened a number of times where clients had children back to back. One lady had 2 boys 18 months apart and decided, okay, thank you for what you gave us, but we've got enough kids now. And they shut down the factory. So it was interesting, but we were successful without evasive surgeries and without drugs and all the rest of that. And we did it with God's medicine. And I thank God for allowing us to be here and sharing this.
What a day.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Well,
look at the program was probably 6 to 12 month program, because it's just like when you're pregnant. How many months is that? 9 months. So it's not like you kiss, have a baby and go from there. It's not a Polaroid kid.
Okay. Awesome. All right. We're going to complete for the evening. I'd like to just take a moment, close our eyes and take a couple of deep breaths in. And I just assert, as we move into the loving space of the divine Father, Mother, God, that we have come together with the intention to be a blessing, and that intention has been fulfilled. That those who have ears have heard, and those who are ready to take action will. We are so grateful and give thanks for Dr. Jenkins, who has been so gracious and willing to share of his time and his talent today. And know that as he gives, he opens himself to receive even more, because we are like a river that flows. And as we give out, we are replenished by the divine and an unending and never-ending source. And so as we move through this and forward on, we receive our good, we ask for our good, we claim our good. And we are so grateful to be children of God. And as our birthright, being happy and healthy and manifesting our heart's desires. And so in the name of the Christ nature, we say, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Be well. And we will see you next month live in the Fertility Family. Can't wait to see what you come up with next.
Okay. Be well.